Okay, rule number 4, changing orders. There are two operations that order does not matter in them. They are multiplication. So I'm going to write multiplication here. And addition. So whether I say what's 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1, that doesn't change the outcome. Same thing if I said what's 2 times 4. Okay, now what's 4 times 2? It doesn't matter. So those operations are very special, and it's probably why kids do better with those operations, because you can mix up the order and you'll probably still get it right. So this is the kind of stuff, though, that might look weird because obviously we use letters in algebra a lot, and you just got to get confident in just the simple terminology and the methodology of how to deal with these letters. So for example, if you have 4 times h, well, technically we don't need that dot. You can just lose the dot and write 4h. When you have a letter next to a number, that implies multiplication, and that's one of those funky rules of math. So you don't technically need the dot. If you want to put it in, go ahead, but it's not required. But if that's the case, well then remember, order doesn't matter. So technically I could write the h first and then the 4. It looks a little weird. I don't think we use that a lot. The other one looks more normal, but it is the same thing because I can switch the order. Well, if that's okay, then I could technically put the dot back in between the h and the 4. Whether or not I put the dot is up to me. Oh, but we have to remember that parentheses also can imply multiplication. So if I lose this operator of a dot, I can switch it over and use a set of parentheses. And it doesn't matter which item has the parentheses around it. It just implies, hey, you need to multiply these two together. So you're either going to do the 4 times the h or the h times the 4, but it doesn't matter because you're going to get the same answer. So you just have to be comfortable with these different representations. So we're going to try it again, but we're going to use 8 and p. So again, remember, let's start with the fact that the dot is optional. When I see 8p, that means 8 times p. But order doesn't matter, so technically I could do p times 8, right, with no dot. I don't need to have it. Maybe some kids like to draw a dot. Okay, cool. Then sure, you could write p times 8 like that. You could use parentheses instead of a dot, for example. So maybe you want to put parentheses around your 8. Right? So whether or not I want to do p times 8 or 8 times p, it doesn't matter. It's the exact same answer. It doesn't matter. Okay? All those different representations are the same. You just kind of have to accept that. Now, collectively, math teachers decided this is very confusing if we were to use all these different representations all the time. So to make things easy, everyone just kind of settled on this guy right here and thought, you know what, we'll just use that to write it because that maybe looks prettier. I don't know. But that's just what math people decided they're going to do more often. But you're not wrong if you use these other forms. All right, that is it for rule number 4.